At the start of the film, a couple is depicted riding their bikes through a West Virginia jungle. The antagonist, Three Finger, is lurking in the background, stalking them before deciding to give chase. He is intent on attacking the boy with an arrow when the opportunity arises. He falls off the bike due to that and the girl gets worried and comes to him. At the same time Three Finger throws another arrow which gets penetrated into his mouth. The girl gets much worried and starts to run away. From there in confusion, during riding her bike she was unaware and gets struck into spiky wire, and falls off. This spiky wire was held by One Eye and Sawtooth. They both pull it upwards in a painful way. Three Finger comes over there and cuts her head away from his body. After that we see Danny and Tony. Other than that they also had some friends with them. They both and their friends were going into the hotel for hangout. Basically few days back Danny received a letter, and it stated that you are the owner of this hotel, you visit here, we would be happy to meet you. Danny becomes very happy to see this and he was going to the hotel happily with his friends. Danny and his friends reached to the hotel where the caretakers of the hotel welcomed them, but they both caretakers were not much happy because they thought Danny would come alone, whereas his many friends were along with him. We also see an old lady here, who was checking out from the hotel, means she was leaving the hotel, that suddenly a flying axe comes and penetrates into her. At the same time the caretaker of Hotel Jackson comes there and he rotates her neck, and that old lady dies there, and this is very different style check out of this hotel, which means whoever wants to check out from the hotel has no other option rather than dying. On the other hand Danny and his friends were getting surprised by seeing the antique things of hotel, because those were much expensive things and they were happy that these things would belong to Danny. Night prevails and the caretaker of hotel was going towards jungle. Here he meets those three brothers, and he tells them that they shouldn't have killed the old lady in this manner, and other than that we also come to know that these three brothers and Jackson were siblings, which means they all were brothers, and other than that other caretaker was their sister. Next morning Danny's close friend was going to hotel that she sees Jackson, who was cleaning blood from some place. Basically this was the same place where old lady was killed, but she leaves in hurry without taking any notice. Some of friends in them visit market for shopping purpose, and there they see a place where many missing people's posters were displayed, which means pictures of those people were displayed who were missing, and at that moment sheriff reach out there and display another picture. This picture belonged to same old lady which was missing from last night. Jackson was showing different weapons to Danny. Inside the hotel, Danny likes all these weapons, and picks up crossbow from there. Jackson asks Danny to go out for hunting, and finally they reach jungle for hunting. There they see a deer and Jackson teaches him hunting, but in reality he was teaching him how to kill humans, because he had many plans in mind, and as he was teaching him how to hunt deer, in the same way Three Finger was hunting sheriff in the other scene. Danny kills deer and Three Finger kills sheriff very badly. On the other side we see Danny's friends, because Danny went out for hunting without informing them, so they were much worried, especially his close friend Tony was much worried, and she sends one of her close friend to jungle to find him. When that friend approaches out into the jungle, he sees a dead deer and Sawtooth devouring it. When he sees Sawtooth, he becomes afraid and starts running as he was scared. As he was running he strikes Danny. As he was running much faster they couldn't hold themselves and fell in deep pit. As he falls down Danny gets stuck in spiky wire and he becomes very injured. He calls his friend for help and Jackson reaches out there. Jackson helps him and bring him back to their resort. The other caretaker of hotel who was girl wipes off Danny's blood. She takes care of him. She puts medicine on his body and Danny's loose friend Tony comes there. Now the caretaker Sally moves out. Next morning Danny was in washroom and he flushes all his medicines. Basically, Danny was hypertension patient, which means he takes tension without any reason, and he used to take medicine for this purpose, but yesterday he had hunted deer and today he threw all medicines, which means he enjoyed taking life of somebody. He never faced such experience before, and no, he doesn't need any medicines. During lunch he tells his friends that no, he is liking this hotel/resort, and no, I will stay here and run the hotel, also I will take care of it, but other people don't want to stay here. They want to go back. In Danny's friends, too, were much greedy. They knew there are many antique and expensive things in the hotel. They begin stealing items and, in their quest for more, they wander around aimlessly. Eventually, they stumble upon a hidden location, which opens in basement. To find different expensive things they go down the basement, where a very big ancient spa was displayed. They were still here that other caretaker Sally sees them, and after some time her three friends reach there and hit his head. He falls down. The three brothers in the story brutally separate the hands and feet of the girls, causing one to die in a gruesome manner. They also attempt to kill the boy, but are stopped by Sally, and she asks her three brothers to go from here. Sally takes him to her room and puts pillow on her mouth until he dies. On the other hand, Danny was changed. He left medicines and he started to live happily. He was never such before. He meets those two caretaker brother and sister. Caretaker Jax asks that he wants him to meet his other family members. Danny becomes ready. Both caretakers take him to small village in the jungle, where many of deformed people were present. These deformed people were Danny's family. They both caretakers give Danny a drug and explain him everything in detail, that all these deformed people were not pure blood as their ancestors were from some other family, and Danny, you and Sally are pure blood. When you and Sally would get married, your future generation would be pure blood, just like Three Finger and his brothers, which means they want many deformed people like them after they get married, so that their generation can thrive. Danny's friend, on the other hand, was listening in by hiding behind a tree. At that time Sawtooth approaches there and catches that boy. Danny's friends seek much help, that ask them to leave me, but Danny never listens to him and says I don't recognize him. He is hanged and his throat is slashed by Three Fingers. Following that, blood begins to flow, and all the people there start collecting his blood in cups and desire to drink it, but Three Finger cared them much. He wanted the blood not to stop, so he cuts him completely, and every start enjoying drink his blood. And 1 cup of blood was brought to Danny, and he drinks his close friend's blood. Next morning when he comes back, her close friend Tony gets worried after seeing him. She asks him to go out from this hotel, toward city, to home, but Danny never wants to go back from that hotel, that place. He asks them to go back, but I will stay here. Till now Danny was in the addiction of drug which Sally gave him. They all go towards kitchen where they see a person cutting human body parts, frying them and eating them. They all get worried, but before leaving the place they look into freezer where one of their friends' head was present. After seeing this they start to run. As they were running those three brothers follow them. Some of friends were successful, escaping from there, but one of them was caught. They put pipe in his mouth and pressurized water was so much pumped that his body shatters. Now we see other friend who was successful in escaping from Three Finger, but his feet get stuck in bear trap. He falls down. Now he can't run as he was trapped. Those three brothers catch him and hit him in his head and he dies at the spot. Danny's close friend Tony was searching for him. She picks out gun and starts searching him and she reaches into the basement spa, where she sees Sally, and here they had a lot of fight. Then she puts caretaker's mouth in water. She picks out her gun and shoots her. At the same time Danny also comes there and takes gun from her, and she checks Sally who was shot, that what happened to her, whether she is alive or not. Danny asks her close friend Tony to run away from here. As Tony was running, the other caretaker Jackson Tony starts following him. They both had a fight and finally Tony breaks his eye with the help of a key, and kills him so brutally that Jackson is also no more. Before she leaves from there Danny comes there and aims Tony with his gun, which means Danny doesn't want Tony to become alive, because she knows much about him and his family. Danny couldn't take risk, and at the same time Three Fingers and his brothers reach there. Danny prioritizes his family over a close friend, and we all know that Three Finger kills Tony. Now story proceeds further and we see Danny was running that hotel and welcomes the families. However, humans were being killed while hiding in this hotel, and they were being devoured, though we see three brothers who were grinding human meat, and wrong turn 6 ends here.